Hello, hello, hello. Una Doyle here, speaker and business coach. Okay, have you ever been freaked out by the online meetings? I mean, there is loads of them happening right now. Now, I've been working from home for many, many years, so I'm used to doing things this way, and maybe you are too. But what about your team members? What if they are not? Now, you might think, well, what's the difference between being in person and having an online meeting? I mean, it's pretty much the same, isn't it? Well, maybe for you, maybe for me, but not for everybody. Um, when you're around a physical table, you're looking at everybody else, but you don't see yourself. And I think this is one of the biggest things that I'm hearing coming up for people around online meetings. Um, you see, the thing is that when you are having a Zoom or a team meeting or a Skype, whatever the technology might be, then you get to see everybody else and yourself. Now, I've had some clients freak out at the thought of being on Zoom. Now, they're always fine after the first time, but please be mindful that we all experience things a bit differently. And maybe you found some people a bit reluctant or procrastinating about getting online or having an online meetup, or maybe they're distracted during the call. You're finding that they're not engaged the way that they could be. So, here's some tips for you or for them, depending on who's experiencing this. Number one, we tend to look different on camera than we do in the mirror. Sometimes it's kind of the opposite way round to the way that we're used to seeing ourselves. So even if you're happy with seeing how you look in the mirror, then that can cause a bit of oh gosh, I don't look quite right. So one of the best ways to get over that is actually to use your phone and to actually just practice being in selfie mode and seeing how do you look. And here's a tip for you as well. I had a friend who was very good at figuring out camera angles. Do you know how she did it? She would literally take her phone and she would go and she would move it around looking at herself into 360 degrees kind of at different distances and all of that to figure out what worked best for her. So do that if you need to. You know, maybe you want to have your camera a little bit above you. That's what works best for me. It might not be for you. Just for a lot of people though, but not for everybody. So that's the thing. Just don't start pulling those duck faces, right? You don't need to be doing that, of course. And the second point is to focus on how you're looking at. Focus on looking at other people. Focus on communication. Focus on listening to them instead of looking at yourself. Now, what can really help with that, if you are finding you being on screen a bit of a distraction, is to open a little window, and it could be like a note or a text file or some kind of blank window, and just resize it so that it fits over your camera. And then if things move around a bit, if as people might come or kind of join the meeting or leave the meeting, you can just simply move it around to cover yourself up so that you can focus on engaging with everyone who is on the call. And then the third thing is I want you to really think about what is the value that you are adding in that situation. So if you are in a meeting, you're there for a reason. You're there to learn, you're there to contribute, and maybe there's a specific part of the agenda that is, kind of your highlight, whatever it might be. But you are there because there's a value in you being there. So remember what that value is and focus on that. Now, if these tips don't work, then please, please, please have a look at what might be the underlying subconscious things that are going on that is, stopping you behind wanting to be on these online meetings. Now, I know for sometimes with some people, it's more about the technology than seeing themselves. And that's just a matter of practice. So practice with your friends, practice with your family. And I think most people by now have been having a lot of practice, yet I'm still hearing people who are feeling uncomfortable about this whole seeing themselves on camera thing. So I hope that these have been helpful tips for you. What tips do you have? Has this been helpful for you? Let me know. I want to hear from you, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.